Welcome. It's really good to see all of you here on an early Saturday morning. We're really excited to see a lot of faces here because we know this is going to be a great experience, to experience the art of Zen. My name is Suko Fo Moyo, and this is Suko Fo Tri, and we are both nuns here at Universal Door Meditation Center, and we're very happy to welcome you to our center.
Good morning. We are very happy to welcome all of you to Universal Door for the Art of Zen. And for those who come in here for the very first time, I'd like to give you a brief introduction about this special center. The Universal Door Meditation Center was established by the Zen Master Thich Yu Ting in 2003. Our Zen Master vow is to help all people, regardless of nationality, ages, culture, background, to wake up from all the conflict and the stress to be truly, fully happy. And our regular activity at the center include weekly meditation classes, retreat, workshop, and open houses. And what's very special about our Zen Master is that she is awake. Because she's awake, she can see clearly all of us. She can help, guide, and support us exactly what we need to wake up for. And because she's awake, she can tell us things that we never know about ourselves. And also because she's awake, she has many tools. She's very flexible, very skillful in helping us how to wake up. And many lives have changed since we come here to practice. And more than that, because of the practice, many students have changed to have transformed their life as in their family and the people around them as well. And our Zen Master for the Art of Zen has guided us every step in this project, and she has trained the students to support through facilitation of her teaching. And she was looking forward to be here today. However, she was needed in our center in Dallas for the tomorrow Buddha ceremony tomorrow in Dallas. So she has given us the full instruction for our whole team of students so that we can support today's activities. And today we have a chance to practice Zen in painting. And we hope all of you have a chance to enjoy the painting meditation. And we also hope that you can apply this experience in your daily life. And next, I would like to introduce to our active lamplighter team. Please, Tuệ An, Tuệ Nhi, Tuệ Trơn come up. These are the people from the active lamplighter team. They are the senior students at Universal Door, and they very involved in our project of outreach to help many people to know about our center. And today they're going to be our assistant. And I would like each of you, please introduce your name and please share one benefit from the practice that you impressed the most to the audience.
Good morning. My name is Fo Chen, and I've been here for 13 years now. So many benefits, so many special things. I guess the one thing I would say is very special to me is that Zen Master introduced me to Awake. And that is something so amazing in the fact that when I start the journey of Awake, I can start to see happiness right then and there. And to be able to apply that into everyday life and go on the journey and just to see more of that happening in my everyday life and how I can be around all kinds of people and family members and they can start to see that transformation in me, and then they start to pick up and practice as well.
Good morning, my name is Tuicha. One of the benefits of minis that I have right now is getting to know myself better in order to wake up. And because I've learned to know myself better, I can see how to interact with others much better and stop hurting them in the process.
My name is Toy Ann, Debbie. Good morning. I think the greatest benefit the center has brought me is teaching me how to really practice meditation, and that it has carried over into my daily life, what we've recently called the other 23 hours of the day, so that when things happen, I feel stable and I can handle it.
Hello, good morning. My name is Dwight Pfaff, and the practice is super important. For me, it has really helped me just know what my life is about, giving me a goal, and then the one thing to work on. And also it's helped me learn how to be where I am, wherever that is, and feel the ground beneath my feet. And that's a benefit for me.
For how many people, is this your first time at Universal Door? Any newcomers? Wow, excellent. Oh, an extra welcome to you all to join in for this first event. It's kind of an exciting event for us because we've been talking about doing something like this for a really long time. What, 10, 12 years? I mean, the center's been established 13 years, and this is the first time we've had the Art of Zen workshop. And that is because it's just recently that our Zen master has pulled all the elements together, and she's trained several of us students to facilitate different parts of it and to help deliver the message and give everyone a chance to experience the art of Zen. So she'd like me to tell you a little bit about the meaning of that, and then we will get going into the painting part. I think it's important that we figure out what is Zen, seeing as how we're sitting in a Zen meditation center. I mean, that would make good sense. Before I came here, many years ago, I kind of thought Zen was something like Japanese architecture, or like bonsai plants, or something kind of cool. But I really had no idea. And if someone had asked me, what do you think about the art of Zen? I would have thought, well, it means art, you're going to create something Zen-ish. So it would have been pretty blank. But after coming here and meeting the Zen master, she explains really clearly. If you've had the good fortune to meet her, she's really direct, simple, clear, interactive. She's really dynamic. And she has conveyed to all of us that the true meaning of Zen is to be awake. To wake up from the source of all the stress, conflict, suffering, struggles of everyday life. So to realize the source of it and to wake up. That's the word Zen means awake. So the word art in this meaning is about having the goal to wake up, but all the different ways that we apply. It means applying our practice, keeping mind and body connected in the present moment, and applying that everywhere we go. Not just sitting on a meditation cushion, not just doing walking meditation, but when we're eating, when we're walking the dog, when we're cutting grass, everywhere we're going. So if you put it all together, the art of Zen means having the goal to wake up from all of the struggles, to be truly happy and free, and applying that constantly wherever we go. So it's very moving. It's like, it means that we are living the meaning of Zen, or living Zen. We take it everywhere we go. So it's living, it's breathing, it's fresh. And so it's more like the art of Zen means the way, or the living of Zen. So if we know about that, it also means that we can make Zen art as just one part of living the whole art of Zen, the whole path of Zen, which is kind of cool. Did that make sense? Okay, good. So that's the meaning of today. That's the true meaning of the art of Zen. And so we're going to have a chance to apply painting meditation within that big picture. Our Zen master asked me to demonstrate something that she's done for classes recently that kind of gives us a good idea about what is meditation and how does meditation help us with that, with that goal. So yeah, Coach, if you can help me for a second. I want to bring these up here because I know some people are kind of far back and I want you to be able to see. Okay. So one of the core teachings from our Zen master, Thich Nhat Hanh, is that inside of every person, truly, you have the awake already. Remember, awake is truly happy, clear, stable, disturbed by nothing. You have that. She would even say you are that. And, okay, and so this water, this jar of water represents that. We call that awake, or your awake mind, we could say. So this represents the clear awake. But also we have something else in us. We have a whole lot of habits. We've got a whole lot of conflict and struggle and sometimes confusion and whatnot. And that's all part of what we call false mind. So that's also inside. You'll notice this jar also has the clear water, but it also has stuff. So what that means is that even this is our original, awake, clear, bright. This is our original, but we didn't know that. We had no idea that truly, originally, we are awake. And therefore, we start to grab onto and hold on to all sorts of ideas and thoughts and beliefs about who and what we are, and who and what the world is, and how things should be. And we start to create a whole network of things in our minds about right and wrong, good and bad. And day by day, as we do that, it's like we drop more and more stuff into our clear water. Our clear water, the more we drop stuff in there, the beliefs and the concepts and perceptions, it starts to look like that. And then, when natural life happens, and things don't go the way that we expect they should go, like somebody says or does something that we don't like, or doesn't match our expectation, here's what happens to all that stuff we put in there. It gets stirred up. And here comes anger, fear, sadness, jealousy. You know what I mean, right? Have you ever had that feeling? So this is what happens because of all of the things that we have grabbed onto and put into our jar. So this is where meditation comes in. The good news is you don't have to keep living like this. The really good news is that when we meditate, we bring our mind and our body together into the present moment. And when we do that, it's just like stop stirring. When there's a big conflict and a lot of turmoil inside of us, the first thing to do is stop stirring. Stop, come back. So that's what meditation does. It helps us to connect our mind and body. We do it through breathing as a sitting meditation in the beginning. And it helps us to settle down. You can see the water right now. Already it's starting to settle. It's becoming clear from the top down. Just simply because we stop stirring. And when the water is allowed to be still, it will start to be more clear. So as we practice basic meditation, it gives us a chance to settle down, to calm ourselves. And from there we can see much more clearly about the stuff that's in our jar, about what exactly is in there and how much and what and why. And from there, as the Master guides us, how to continue to go deeper in practice, transform all of this stuff, and return back to our original clear water. So that's like our ultimate goal. To wake up and be truly happy means to return to your clear water. And meditation is our first step. So when we have a chance to meditate, it becomes very obvious the difference between false mind and awake mind. And that's what we need to catch. Because as soon as we catch the difference, we know there are two things. And when the false mind happens and all the conflict happens, we remember what to do. And our goal is to get back to this one. Don't take this to be so real. Come back to our original. So this is what we do in sitting meditation. And so our Zen Master would like us to practice a little bit of sitting meditation today. To give everybody the chance to touch with this experience just a little bit, to recognize the difference in yourself between awake and false mind. And the reason that we're going to do that, it will help us to calm down and stabilize, and then from then, we're going to do our painting meditation, which is truly applying the very same thing, mind and body connected in the present moment, but with our painting. And you may feel that difference right away. So, we will do a short sitting meditation, and I'll just tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll practice it, and then we will be ready for painting meditation. The first thing to know about meditation, sitting practice, is all kinds of distractions will happen, and that's normal. Don't be worried. Don't be judging yourself or thinking, oh, I can't do it, or don't expect it to be like, totally nothing, clear, calm, quiet, whatever idea you have about that happening, let that go. Because when we first sit down to practice meditation, all the normal things will happen. Thoughts will pop up out of nowhere, maybe memories, images of something, random thoughts. Or perhaps it's our body, achiness, restlessness, or maybe it's sleepiness comes in. Or the last one might be distractions in the room, noises around us, traffic, cars, people moving around. So those are all really normal, those four kind of distractions. Don't worry. When we meditate, our job is to connect our mind and our body, just be in the present moment. And when we follow our breathing in and out, those distractions will pop right in. And our job is just to recognize that they popped up, let them be, and come right back to our breathing. So there's no such thing as doing it wrong. And don't worry when things pop up, thoughts happen, achiness happens. That's okay. Just keep coming back. So for your sitting posture, for sitting meditation, please get into a position where your spine is straight. That's kind of the most important thing. Spine straight. You can be on a cushion, you can be in a chair. That part doesn't matter too much. Just spine straight, body relaxed, relaxed but alert. And just aware to keep your head level, not tipping down or tipping way up, just sort of level, and eyes softly closed. And just let breathing happen naturally, whatever that is for you. Just allow your natural breathing to happen. And then now bring your attention to your breath. Start to notice as air comes in, follow it coming all the way in. And as air moves out, follow the air moving all the way out. And when air starts to move back in, follow. Feel the air moving in. And when it's headed out, follow. Feel the air moving out. And we just continue that way. Pay attention to the breathing. Following it in and out. And whatever kind of distraction happens, don't worry. Just let it be. Bring your attention back to the next breath. Again, the bell, and we will continue to practice for a few more minutes to experience settling down. How do you feel after your 8 minutes of meditation? Any different? A little bit more relaxed, a little bit more open, perhaps a little bit more connected? Okay. So that's the basics of sitting meditation. It's meant to just bring our mind back to our body, to be really present in this moment. And when we do that, just like our water here, things settle, they calm down, and we can see much more clearly what's going on inside. And then from there, we have a chance to recognize the great difference between our habits and struggles and the awake that's within. Because when we sit and meditate, that which can recognize the thought pop-up is not the thought. That's your awake. That which can feel a feeling happen, but not follow it and get tangled in the drama, that's your awake. So we just don't follow the thought or the feeling. We just come back to our center and reconnect with our awake. So we're going to do the same thing now as we prepare to paint. We're going to do painting meditation. It's the same goal as sitting meditation. The only difference is that instead of mind and body together following our breathing, it's going to be mind and body together. Feel the paintbrush on the canvas. Eyes follow the color. Just really present with what's happening in your painting. And then when false mind pops up and says, uh-oh, well, it doesn't look as good as hers, something like that, catch it. Don't follow that thought. Let it be. Come right back to your painting. Come right back to what's happening here in your own mind. So with that, I would like to introduce another student, is Fo Chen, who will be our painting guide today and also be giving our reminders about our practice along the way. And she will tell you a whole lot more about this great experience.
She's quiet. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Are you awake yet? Okay, so the fun is about to begin. But before we start painting, I want to share a short story. So I'm very thankful, very privileged to get the direct training and guidance from our Zen master. And one thing before we started this, putting this whole thing together was, there was a day when we were sitting and working out the plans to how to do this workshop. And as we were sitting in there, she had just come in from a different meeting, and she was just kind of walking through, and she saw what we were doing. She goes, "I'll be right back." So a few minutes later, she comes back in and she sits down, and within 15 minutes, she says, "Do you know what the meaning of the art of Zen is?" And I just sat there, and I just was thinking in my head, well, I mean, I'm thinking the art of Zen is taking meditation, and while we're doing art, we're in the moment and we're meditating. And then she goes, which is always so awesome to have an awake person say this, is that she can always pick out things. And what she said next was truly life-changing in the way that she said, truly, the meaning of art of Zen is art of Zen. So meaning that whatever you are doing becomes art of Zen. So even though this workshop is called Art of Zen and we are doing a painting, the emphasis of today's meeting, what it is that Tay would like you, our Zen master would like you to walk away with, is knowing that Art of Zen means to bring everything that you're doing. So when you walk out of here, when you're walking, that is Art of Zen. When you're eating, when you're driving, whatever it is that when you're talking to people, when you're doing homework, whatever it is Art of Zen. And that is what the emphasis is on today. That is the whole meaning and theme behind Art of Zen. And so today, even though we are doing a painting, the focus is not on how beautiful your painting turns out or how exactly good it matches the one that we're doing. The point of it is that when you're doing Art of Zen, when you pick up your brush, you know exactly what you're doing. You're picking up your brush. When your brush touches the canvas, you know that you are doing that. Okay? Bringing mind and body to the present moment. So as you're doing that, that is awake. Awake knows and sees everything that you're doing in the moment. Now, as you're doing that, of course, false mind will appear. So the moment a thought comes up and says, "Oh no, I don't know if I mixed this color right," or "Did I get enough water on my canvas?" That is what false mind is the thoughts and the voice that pops up. So the more that you can be in awake, the more you will see the thoughts that pop up. And hopefully while you did the warm-up sitting, that was to prepare you to start to see what awake is and what false mind is. Okay, so are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so here it goes. I am going to reveal what we'll be working on.
I want to say, if there's anyone who feels like you're too far away, we do have a few more seats on this side up closer if you want to change seats. Or if you decide later if you want to change seats, just let us know.
There's about 3 more up here, if you don't like. Okay, so this is our art piece that we'll be working on. And this particular piece is, I'm going to guide you through step by step how to do this. So I'm going to reveal. Okay?
Whoa.
Okay, this is perfect. Now, exactly. I would like to ask you, the moment I turn this around, what did false mind say? Would someone like to share? Okay, who's the volunteer? You can't do that? Okay, what else?
I thought I wrote something in my mind, not.
Okay, good.
Is it okay? Okay.
Oh no, we're following.
Oh.
Anything else? Did anyone else catch what came up? What was the first thought that came up?
No.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Great.
I can't draw.
No, that's great. So the great thing about this workshop is it doesn't matter if you have any art background or even if you did not have any meditation background. Because as you're here, we are going to guide you through that step by step. And so hopefully what we want you to take away from this experience is that as you are doing this, you will see your false mind pop in all the time, saying all sorts of things. And that's the purpose. That is the reason why Zen meditation has the application. It's one thing for you to come and understand, but to have you actually apply and experience what Zen meditation is the purpose, okay? So we're going to get started, okay? There's a few basic rules.
Even as Fochan is talking, when your mind pops up and says this and that, keep catching it. Don't just catch it once. It will keep murmuring back there. Catch it, let it be. Come back.
Okay.
Come back to your center. Again and again. Don't follow those thoughts.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce a few rules about the brushes. First, you notice you will have two brushes. So we have over here the square brush, which I will call Nemo. And then we have the round brush, which is Dory. Okay? So you want to treat these, they're like fishes. Okay? They need to be kept in water. Because you can go ahead and dip it in the water cup and just leave it there. So treat them like fishes. If you leave them out and they have paint on them for a long time, what's going to happen? They'll dry and your fish will die. Okay? Now, okay, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to take your bigger brush, because some of you may have a bigger round brush or bigger square brush. Take Nemo and you're going to go ahead and wet your canvas. From top to bottom. Okay? So just go ahead and just wet everything, because the paint will move and blend a lot easier when your canvas is wet. So even as you're taking the water, be very aware of how much water you're taking on there so that it's not dripping, but just enough. And you can kind of see where the water is from the shininess of your canvas. And remember, as you're working, notice your strokes. Be in the moment. Now the next thing we're going to do is find out where our horizon is. Okay, so we're going to use your Nemo brush, the square brush, okay, and we're going to create a horizon. So you see the horizon is a little bit above the middle point of your canvas. So dip just a little bit of paint of the dark blue, and you're going to go a little bit above the middle and just draw a line across. Okay. And now what we're going to do is take more of the blue and we're going to coat the whole upper half. And just apply your paint. Now remember, catch everything that happens, especially when you're new to doing something. Whatever your mind says, know it. Okay, so once you have a good coat, okay, so everyone have that. If you notice that your strokes feel kind of dry, add a little bit more water. If you feel that it's not blending well, add a little bit more water, and then that will help the paint glide.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Get a bigger one.
Bigger brush?
It's too long to get.
Yes. Do we have any more? If you see any bigger brushes over there, can we do a trade?
Can we use the big one?
You can use a big one, yes.
Okay.
It's like he can use that, yes, the round one. There you go. If you're taking a while, you can switch brushes because this one is a basic coverage. So you can switch to a bigger. If your round brush happens to be bigger, feel free to use that one. And then any time that you need more paint, also please raise your hand and one of our assistants will come and give us some paint for you. Or change of water. Very nice. Okay. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is take the round brush, the pointed one, Dory, and we're going to dip just a little bit of white on the tip. And we're going to create our moon. So wherever you want your moon to be, just put a little dot right there. Okay. And then you're just going to start from that little dot and then slowly go in circular direction and create your circle. And just move in circular directions until you create the size of the moon you want. If you notice it's starting to blend in with the blue, then grab a little bit more white. Start with the dot in the middle and gradually just go in circular motions and move out until you get your size of the moon that you would like. If you notice on this particular moon, if you want your rays to kind of spread out a little bit, go ahead and make it a little bit bigger than what you want your actual moon to be. Because in the end, we're going to go back with more white towards the end, and we're going to add more to it to make your moon very bright and shiny. So that's why I left a little bit of space right here, because later we're going to go back in and we're going to add more white to that. But that's just the rays that is shining from the moon. How's everyone doing so far? Are you in the moment, mind and body together? Good. Nemo square brush. Clean it. So how to clean your brush is press down so that it hits the very bottom and just really work it at the bottom to get all the paint off your brush. Dry it and really dry it on the napkin. Okay. Okay. So now does everyone have the square brush? What we're going to do next is we're going to create the clouds. So with the clouds, you're going to dip your brush in a little bit of white. Okay. Now you see we have about 1, 2, 3, and one big cloud over here. Okay. So what you're going to do is we're going to sketch it out real quick, just a basic, meaning by drawing the line. So you have a cloud here, cloud here, cloud here, and a cloud going about that way. So just draw your lines in so you see where your cloud's going to go. Now you're going to take a little bit more paint and you're just going to start to kind of punch at it, and then your brush will create the little, it's like punching a little soft kind of dabbing motion, tapping motion. And then you see there's highlights of where the clouds are. So like if this area is white, just kind of tap around there and then slowly go out. And then just keep going in a circular motion, and then you will start to see a cloud start to form. So don't be afraid to, because the texture of the brush, don't be afraid to kind of crisscross it and dab at it. And then the colors will start to blend out a little bit more too. And then you can do that for the next one, same thing. Just take a little bit of white, not too much, okay? Because it's better to go less than more. So see, as you're kind of just tapping onto there naturally, it will blend. So you want the more white area in probably one section, and then from there you just kind of tap it out, and then it starts to blend. And then if you're ready to go work on the big cloud, same thing. You just start in one area, keep that part white, and then gradually just kind of go around it, and then spread out the cloud. And this cloud you see is kind of diagonal. go in, and if it feels flat, you can go in. If it feels like too blended, meaning like just one tone, you can go in and add a little bit more white now in another area once again, and kind of just fluff it up. So fluff up your cloud a little bit. So you can work on your cloud depending on how puffy you want it, how thin you want it. All up to you. How's everyone doing? Good? How's everyone feeling? Catching any particular feeling that pops up or any particular thought that pops up?
Tons of them.
Tons of them? What's one of yours? What's one of yours?
My husband said he's surprising.
Good, good. Okay, good. So remember earlier I had mentioned we're going to play a little game. Okay, so if you have your phone on you, we're going to play a little Facebook game. And at the end, whoever gets the most Facebook likes will get a little prize. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a picture of where we are now. So if you have a phone or if you're on Facebook and you want to play the game, we're just going to take a picture of what you're doing right now. Put a little post on Facebook and just say something inspiring. Say something like, oh gosh, I'm going to this first time artisan class and let's see how my painting turns out. So what we're going to do is let people know that you're doing this, and then at the end, after you have your finished product, we're going to post the final picture, and then whoever gets the most likes will get a little prize. Oh, Miss Carlson is lovely. Okay, so for our next step, wash your brush.
Which one?
The square Nemo. Mr. Nemo. Dry it off. We're going to pick up a little bit of white paint. And now we're going to work on our mountain. So the first thing you're going to do is do a brief angle of how you want your mountain. So if you want a high mountain, you would go high. If you want it lower, you can taper it down. So I'm going to do mine out here. Okay. I'm going to draw a diagonal. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little, same brush, we're going to add a little bit of black. Okay, so a little bit now. With dark colors, the less the better. That way you can go in and fix if you need to. We're going to add a little bit of black on one side of the square brush and a little bit of brown. So add a little bit of black and a little bit of brown. And then you're going to start to fill in your mountain. So we're just going to go up and down strokes. And just keep going up and down till you fill up that mountain area. And so instead of being blue now, it's going to start to get darker. Now this, if you want your mountain darker, you can add a little bit more black and a little bit less brown. Okay? I'm just going to go up and down strokes.
Can I have water?
Yes. Yes. If it feels dry, add a little bit of water so you can get a little bit more of the blending. And so just imagine a cliff. Your diagonal line does not have to be completely straight. It can be kind of jagged to make it look more cliff-like, if you want. You know, it does not have to be completely straight. Perfect. And so just fill up your mountain. You notice when you pick up water, you only need to pick up a little bit in order for it to blend. If it feels like your paint is too transparent, it's because maybe you have a little bit too much water. So add more paint to that area and you'll get more of a thicker consistency and more coverage. There you go. More dimension to our mountain, you can, same brush, you don't have to wash it, just dip it directly into a little bit of white, just a little, okay? And then we're just gonna go from the bottom up, just kind of like straight lines, just random here and there. And then just start blending the strokes out a little bit. just to give it a little bit more dimension. So see, it has a little bit more. There you go. It's so quiet in here. I think everyone's catching on their false mind. Any more volunteers on what it's saying right now?
Does being focused and present feel differently than if you were doing something else right now? Well, it's good to notice. If we don't stop and notice that, we don't see the difference between when we are connected and present, and normally we're scattered, which is why we end up so tired. Feel like you have a quality life. Yes.
Now, I feel like when I'm doing this and applying and in Artisan, suddenly the way that I take my paint is different. I know how much to take. I'm not sloppy just doing it just to do. I'm really in my hand strokes. I'm really paying attention. I'm really focused. So this is something to apply whether you're at work, whatever job you're doing at work, same thing. When you're applying Artisan, then Awake is there to see and observe every movement, mind and body together, and everything that you're doing. So what happens is you have, less mistakes. Your energy isn't scattered everywhere, thinking 20 different thoughts. You're just in the moment doing what you need to do. Okay, so now we're going to clean our brush a little bit. We're going to take our round brush, Tory brush, clean that off.
Does anybody have any questions? Need a little help?
Everyone's just. Okay, so what we're going to do, you notice in the painting over here, there are some dark blue areas to kind of make it just more mysterious. So here we have dark in this area, dark down here, dark here, a little bit in the corner. So we're going to go and take the blue again now, the dark blue. We're going to dip a little bit on our brush and kind of start to round up. And then just kind of fill in and make those areas a little bit darker. This you can get fun with. Your texture doesn't have to be any particular kind of stroke. Just kind of make it blend a little bit. If you want it round, you can do round. If you want it straight across, you can do straight across. I mix both. Add a little bit in the corner up here. You can use the same brush that you're using. And you're gonna take a little bit of green. You see there's some green in there, so you can take some green. And you're just gonna make a line. So for example, we see some green up here, here, here. Don't be afraid to use paint. So grab a good amount of paint and just put them there. And then you're gonna see there's blue in some area. So grab some more blue. And we're gonna put some here, here, here. Okay. Remember to get plenty of paint, okay? Because we're gonna do some blending in a little bit. So pick up a little bit more paint in those areas. You need a pretty good amount of paint. So make sure you add greens and blues, and then you're going to take some white. Then you're going to add some white in here. More white. 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 Now with this one, I like to use the square brush when I start to blend it. So I'll take the square brush, and now you're just going to go back and forth. Horizontally back and forth in your canvas. So if you don't have enough paint and it's too transparent, then you need to put some more paint in that area. You're just going to keep going back and forth until you blend in the colors. Where, I mean, there's some areas where there's going to be more green, some areas more blue. That's exactly what you want. Okay? Now, if it feels like it's not enough color, then go back in and do the same thing and add a little bit more green in that area. Or blue in the area that you want so that it's a little richer. I want mine a little bit more rich, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Both blue and green and white. So see, as you kind of add more paint, you're going to get more coverage. So right now, don't be afraid to get the paint. Blue and white? Yes. More blue and white. When you get where the mountain is, now connect your horizon together. Don't be afraid if it overlaps, it's okay. Okay. in with everyone. And I want to see, so now that you've gotten into the painting, how is it? Was it as hard as you thought it was? No, right? So that's very good. So the point here is that when you are able to be in awake and catch that false mind when it comes up and it says, oh, this is too hard, I don't think I can do this, then immediately, if you're not catching that, then automatically, normally that would control us. And the next thing we do is what? You don't want to do it, or you give up. So I'm very glad you caught that. And then as you're working throughout, are you able to catch the different things that appear? What can someone share something that has appeared while they were painting? Anyone?
Anybody get
Yes,
caught?
Tyler?
I kept wanting to add more, and then I kept adding more, and then I was like, oh, why did I do that? I should have done that. And I'm looking at his, looking at everybody else's, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop adding to it, and it looks fine.
So there's a false mind going in second guessing, right? Doubting yourself. Oh, I don't know. Is that enough? Is it too much? Very good.
Anybody else have comparing mind come up? You look left, you look right. Oh. Anybody have that? You kind of eyes looking around and catch that. It's just an old habit. Yeah, catch it. When you see that thought come up of, oh, just see. Okay, let it go. Come back to your center again. And get ready to catch the next one. It'll be like 5 seconds later. So that's the secret. If you can start to catch your thoughts while you're painting, let it be. Come back to your clear water. Again and again, then you can do it with everything else. Whether you're house cleaning, whether you're sorting through paperwork, even when you're driving, just fully present when you're driving, and thinking mind will come up about, some people can't drive. Why? Catch it, let it be, come back, present with your driving. You can apply this everywhere, every minute, because remember, the goal is to be living the art of Zen. Goal to wake up, mind and body connected, the present moment throughout everything. So there's no exemption. You can bring this everywhere, and it will totally change how you feel throughout your day, how you feel at the end of your day, how the relationships around you, everything. So, okay, part 2.
One more thing I want to ask though. So when you're in awake, how does that feel? When you're just in the present moment and awake is right there, how does that feel compared to when the false mind comes in? Did anyone notice that?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just don't know how to get started, but it's like I have never painted in my life since I guess my middle school days. And my life has been so busy and stuff. And even when I look at the painting, my first thought is beautiful, but I have no idea even to think about how to do or it's really hard or nothing. I had no clue. And I was just here and I was watching you and I was just going step by step. And this is not a competition. There's nothing to, it's like just knowing that this is just me and it's my expression. And just catching that false mind. There were times when even when you were waiting the canvas, I was still at the top and had gone through half the skin. Oh, I need to do my engine to do it faster. I got that and I said, it is what it is. So I just came down and I feel like I was right there. And here I am and I'm like, wow. And just not having the feeling to be judged, compared, and all of that, it's just free and open. And it's just what, you know, and then during the break I just saw compared with what my kids had done. And I could just see our personalities showing up at I could just see it right there.
Excellent, just see it. Don't follow, just see it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you for sharing fully. I don't know in the back if you could hear the beginning part of what she said was really beautiful. She said when she was painting, she felt really open. And she really enjoyed painting. And she hasn't painted since like middle school. So it's, and for example, you know, her everyday life work requires a lot of detailed thinking, very challenging thinking mind job, every day, long hours. And so for her to come here and just be really present, she could feel that difference immediately. Open, enjoy, really just with the process and looking, you know, at what other people are doing and just at ease. So right there's a big difference between when we get tangled up and following our thinking mind. Thinking is not the problem, but we just get tangled up believing that is who and what we are. And we forget to come back to our centered, clear water. So it's a really good example of how different you feel. Yes, Rita?
This is the first time I take a picture. This is my first
time to touch a brush. Excellent.
So when she turned back the picture, and I said, wow, how can I do that? Yes, and then my mind would be tight at that moment.
Yeah.
And I said, how can I do it? And then after she showed step by step, and I said, wow, I really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. And then my mind said, oh, no, just keep following her step by step. And now I finished this step, and I feel, wow, it's still okay.
Excellent. Excellent. It's not what we think, and that's the key. It's not what we think. You are not your thoughts. As our Zen master always says, you are what can recognize your thoughts. You are not the voice in your head. So that's why we need to just keep catching it, recognize it, let it be, and come back to clear water. Excellent. Wow.
I have one last question. Okay. So after or while we took the break, who was able to carry Art of Zen with them during break time?
Good question.
Was anyone able to, during snack time, while you're picking up your snack and eating or walking to the restroom, was anyone able to apply Art of Zen during those moments?
Yes.
Good. Okay, because that is the main point. Okay? Art of Zen in everything that we do. And this is just your practice of how to do it. All right. Okay, so now we can pick up your square brush. And we're going to start to work on the waves. So dry off your brush. And we're going to pick a little bit of white paint up. So once again, we're going to create the outline before we start going into detail. So you see right here, we have this wave right here. We have this wave, the third wave, a fourth wave, and a little fifth wave right here. Okay? So now we're going to outline the waves. So I'm going to start with the big one. And we're just going to do a little, it's like a little pump. So you're going to go up and then down and let it fade. Okay, so one there. Good, very good. Okay, we're going to create another one right below it, kind of off a little bit to the side. I'm going to create this little hump. And right under that, there's a little one right here. Another one on this side, going this way. And then a little bit of the fifth one. The fifth one right over, right next to the big one, just a little small one right there. Okay, now this part, you would need your square brush. What you're going to do is dip it into a little bit of green, a little bit of blue. So you're going to take half of it in blue and half of it in green. And this is where we're going to create the waves. So what you're going to do is create a C. So imagine a C. So it goes like this. And when you write a C, it curves. Right? So what we're going to do is start from where the arch of the wave is, right here. And you're just going to do a C. And you're just going to keep repeating that C. Okay, so start at the very top, and you're just going to do a wide C, and then you're going to go back and you're going to blend it again over several times, and that's going to create the texture of how the wave looks. The stroke. So C, C, C. And to blend it, you just keep going over it again and again. But as long as you see the wave, there you go. Very nice. If the painting looked like it's blend, like not enough color, pick up a little bit more blue and a little bit more green. There you go. You can just add a little bit more green or white. And then you're going to repeat that over the next several waves. So start at the top, and then you're just going to do C. You see that? You see the C? And then you're just going to start at the top again, do another C, C, C. Okay, so now you have the formation, the basic formation of the wave. So after you finish creating just the basic structure of the wave, we're going to go in and make the bubbles. So we're going to clean that brush. We're going to use the same brush. We're going to dip it in the white. Dip a little bit of it in the white, just the tip of it. And then we're going to start poking again. We're going to start working on, well actually, not yet, not poking yet. We're going to use the white and we're going to create the surface of it. Use your white first, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create this curve. So right where that big first wave is, just continue it around and do a curve like that. Okay. And then we're going to grab a little bit more white. And now we're going to do like a backwards C. So you're going to take the white and apply, so right where that first wave is about to break, you're going to put white right there, and then you're just going to do a backwards C right there.
C?
Yes. And then you're just gonna follow that line and go smaller and smaller. And you're gonna stop right where the curve is. Now here, if you want to, you can add if you're gonna be a little daring, you can add a little bit of water and just a little bit of blue. And we're gonna go in and we're gonna do a little bit of blue in here. Backward C. Now if you got too much blue and you want it a little bit more white, just go in with a little bit more white and go right on top of that. Okay, and then when you're done with that section, we're going to go on the second wave, which is down here. And then we're going to apply right at the top of that wave, apply the white and go right over it a little bit, like the C again. But don't cover the whole thing. You can just go halfway. Don't cover the old C that you did completely, just halfway. Do that same thing for the other little wave at the bottom. And then same thing for these little waves. Okay. Bubbles kind of seem to form. You just break it up. The square. Start with not too much paint, so go light with the paint first so that you can kind of see sporadic little, see how the bubbles, as I start to kind of just tap, tap, tap it strong, you can start to see the texture of the bubbles start to form. And then you do that just along the wave, so right at the tip. And you don't have to pick up more paint, just keep tapping along and you'll see the bubbles start to form. And towards the end you taper off. So when you're doing this big wave, follow along and keep tapping into, poking into it. And then as you go towards the curve, the end tail of it, you want less, thinner bubbles, less tapping. Yes. Now, we're going to make an outline of the rocks. So you're going to take a little bit of white on the tip, and we're going to outline what our rocks are. So we have a little rock in the corner right here, and you can just make a little outline of your rock. white. We're just gonna outline the rock, where we want our rocks to be. Then we have one right in here where the mountain is, and you're just gonna do an outline. That's how you want your rock. Okay. And we have one in the corner right here. So you can go a little, triangle shape up. Rocks are jagged, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And we have another big one right here. And then a small one right here. And a small rock there. So we have one more right here. There's another rock right here. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to fill in the rock. And how you're going to fill in the rock is you're going to take a little bit of yellow. And a little bit of brown, and you're going to mix it on your plate first. So a little bit of yellow, a little bit of brown until you make a kind of mustard looking color. So some yellow, brown, until you get a good kind of mustard in the middle. Half yellow, half brown. And then you're going to fill in your rock. And to create texture in your rock, remember rocks are jagged. So you can go left, right, up, down. It doesn't have a particular really pattern to it because rocks aren't smooth. So any direction is okay. If you need more paint, just add a little bit more, mix your yellow, and it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't have to be exactly the same color it was. And then you're just going to fill in your rock. At least now you have a little silhouette of what your rock looks like. Your color, you can go back now directly with a little bit of brown. Just a little bit now because brown is dark. And then just do, so don't cover completely. We're going to layer. Don't cover completely what you've done already. You're just going to add a little bit more brown in the lower area. And just kind of, you can do random strokes. This gives it that little 3D effect. So add more brown. You don't have to blend it in completely. See. Just always, when you go dark, take less paint. That way you can always go in and readjust it. We're gonna clean your brush. I'm going to use the square brush right now. And what we're gonna do with the square brush is we're gonna take the dark blue, clean your brush. We're gonna work on the waves a little bit. We're gonna work on the ocean actually a little bit. And so take a little bit of the dark blue. And you'll see there are some areas like right in here, right where it's connecting the mountain area, the horizon. And just add some dark right in that area. Gonna sweep it through. So it's just like a side, right, left, kind of blending that in. And then there's an area right here that's a little darker blue, so I'm just going to blend that in a little bit. Adding a few more dark areas where the blue is, right where this wave is right here. A little bit of dark blue right there. And just go right, left, right, left. If you need a blend, just add a little bit of water. Just a little bit. Maybe right by this rock right here, if you want to add a little bit of blue right there. Okay. Just a little bit. Yes, child. And then now, the finishing touch will be the pointy brush. Clean it. We're going to add a little bit of white to it, and we're going to create the miniature little waves on the ocean. So we're going to do little random waves, just like this, along the ocean. Just a little bit of white. Okay. And now we're going to take the white and highlight different areas. So for example, remember when we first started doing the wave right there? We're going to take a little bit of white. We're just going to highlight a little bit right at the top of that wave. Same thing with the second wave, just take a little bit of white and just kind of highlight it. So follow the top line of the wave. You just take the tip of it and do a thin line. And then you're going to do the little pokey technique again on that dark wave. You get some little wave bubbles going on this wave right here. And like if you feel like your waves are too blended in and you want more texture, then just take that white and go back and poke a little bit in the bubble area that you wanted to kind of highlight a little bit. And then just create more bubbles. The moon. So remember how we started with just one dot? You're going to do one dot again. And now we want this moon to be white. Nice and round. And so circular motion, just go around in circles until you get your moon the size that you want. I like to keep it smaller than what I had started out with, because it's kind of like a rays. So final touches, if there's any place that you want to highlight, I like to put a little bit in the clouds a little bit, because mine is a little bit too blended. Just go ahead and highlight a little bit. And then when you're done, just put your brushes back into the water.
There's some more masterpieces out here.
I know.
But the best part is you can really see and feel everybody's focus.
So finally, we're saving the best part for last, which is the meaning behind this painting that our Zen master wanted us to take home today. So
Truly, there were several paintings that she had to choose from which one to present today. And initially, the painting that most of our team all pointed to and said, that's the painting, that's the one we need to do. And we didn't say she was not in the room at that moment. But when she made her choice, she immediately went to the painting that we all would have chosen last. And we were so surprised. But when she told us the meaning of this painting, we knew exactly it was the right painting. It was a great match.
Yes.
For this time, for this theme, it's perfect. So everything in the painting has a meaning.
Okay, so the message that our Zen master would like for us to know about this painting is awake. So basically, you see the moon, right? Okay?
Right.
Right?
Light.
Is there something you notice throughout this painting that has to do with the moon? shining, right? It's bright.
Shining where? Shining
Where?
on.
What is it shining on? Everything, right? So let's say, for example, the mountain, the waves, the rocks. Like when you first look at this picture, how do you feel? It kind of feels like a strong picture, right?
There's a lot going
There's a
on.
lot going on in here. So the waves, the rocks, the mountain, those represent our daily things out there. For example, work. The rocks can be your kids. There's school going on. There's all kinds of different variety of things that we have to do every day. And that's what the different items in here represent. The clouds.
Challenges, maybe a health issue that we have.
So all of these things that you see, so the moon represents awake. So all of these things in front of awake, the clouds, the waves, the mountain, the rocks, they represent all the things that we're doing daily. And no matter how challenging they are, she wants you to know that awake is always there and is always available. And if you notice, the awake is on everything. It's shining on everything. So no matter what it is, you'll see it's shining on the mountain, it's shining on the rocks, it's shining on the waves, and it's to let you know that awake is there. And the more that you start to turn on your awake, the more that you start to turn on your light, eventually all of this will start to
So even sometimes we
Right.
feel like overwhelmed with maybe a certain habit that we have, or a certain reaction that always happens, or a certain stuck situation. The reminder is no matter how big the rock, no matter how hard the challenge, awake is already within you. It's already there. You have the capacity. Now we just need to continue to apply and develop our practice to come back to our awake, transform the rocks, and it's like the debris in the water. Our job is to transform it, come back to clear water.
And then the more that the awake shines, the brighter things will be. The more you will see clearly what everything is.
So in everyday life, there's challenges. We never hope that there's no challenges. We never expect there are no challenges. There are challenges, but there's always a wake to go with it. So day by day, we can return.
And day by day, we use awake in every single challenge that there is out there. So the art of Zen is to wake up in any situation. So these are all your situations. Tai wants to remind us, Zen Master wants to remind us to be awake in any and every situation, and to apply that in everything that we do every day in order to start our journey towards awake.
Even if this word might be very new, awake. I mean, maybe we never came across that word in this way before, but don't worry. At first, we just listen, understand. This sort of makes sense. Okay, from there, we just establish the goal. I need to go back to that. I really want to live my life that clear, that stable, that happy. So we establish the goal, and then now work, bring mind and body together, begin to live the art of Zen. Good?
Good.
Okay.
Give a little applause to everyone.
Thank you. Fantastic job.
And so now, for the first time ever, many of you who have come to the retreats that we have, like 1 day, 3 day retreats, you see that that's exactly what our Zen Master is having us do, is the art of Zen. So in those retreats, we've done walking meditation, eating meditation, sitting meditation, and for the first time, you have something to take home with you, so that when you put this up on your wall, you will remember the lesson behind what art of Zen truly is. Oh, and final, I would like for all of you who did the Facebook post, take your final picture. And then in about 10 minutes or so, we'll check back and see who gets the most likes, and then you'll have a little gift.
Any questions for our participants?
Any questions for our participants?
Or any questions from our participants? Anything come up that you'd like to ask about the painting, about the practice, about anything so far this morning?
I'd like if anyone could share, like how